guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a story time about how I was stuck in an elevator during exams. If you guys want to see more story times on my videos, like this video and comment down below because I want to do more story times. And I feel like I have some pretty crazy ones to tell you guys, but this one I think has to be one of the craziest. So, I was stuck in an elevator during my exam and I was stuck in there for 48 minutes. I don't know about you, but when you have anxiety, 48 minutes and like, I don't know, a 3 foot by like 2, like box basically with like doors closed is terrifying. So, I parked my car at school, provided I was 10 minutes late for my exam already because I had to drop Leslie off at school, and my school and her school are 25 minutes apart. That's by driving. And I took the fastest way possible to get there. So, I park my car, and I walk into my school, press the normal elevator. So, this elevator stops at 6 floors. And don't know about you, but a 6th-floor elevator is kind of like scary. Like, I don't like apartment buildings that stop at like multiple different floors. I don't know why. It's just like, what if the elevator drops? What if it breaks? I don't know. Like, I just feel like more stops is just like anxious building. I don't really know. Maybe that's just me. Comment below if that's also you. But I got on the elevator at floor BR. I had to go to 2R. So, get into the elevator, not a problem. I was just like texting on my phone, drinking my Starbucks, and I was like, okay, no big deal, 10 minutes late for my exam, but my teacher's not going to care all that much because I'm going to be there in like a second. So, the elevator stops the 2nd floor, which is B, and I was like, okay, great, this person comes on, and then he goes up to floor 1. So I was like, okay, it stops, he gets off. Then, the elevator moves a tiny bit, like, I would say it probably moved like 2 feet, and the one door doesn't close. But at first, I didn't realize. I was like, okay, like, it closed, and then I, like, felt it move. And all of a sudden, it stopped. And I looked up, and I was like, the elevator's stuck. The elevator just broke, and I'm inside. And I was like, holy shit. So I immediately was like, okay, where's the call help button? So I go to because it's only on one side of the door, of the panels, I believe. So I press it like super quick because I was so scared of pressing it. And for my head, for some reason, I thought it'd be like broken. I watch a lot of Chicago PD and Chicago Med and Chicago Fires, and people stuck in elevators that like the thing doesn't work, or like all of a sudden the elevator drops, or like they have like this much to get out, and it's like terrifying. So I quickly press the button, nothing happens. Quickly press it again, nothing happens. So I was like, okay, maybe you gotta hold it. Like, it's a safety feature, kids and elevators, they press that button sometimes, right? So I hold it. And then the red light, it's like this red, like, light. It's off normally, but then it shines red. So I was like, okay, nothing. And I was like, hello? And then this automatic voice comes on. It was like, call in progress. I was like, okay. Keep in mind, this whole time, I'm like full on panic attack. Like, I'm not this calm. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's stuck, it's gonna drop, oh my god, get me out of here, help, 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 help. So I was like, hello, and it's like, call in progress. And I was like, holy shit, it's broken. It's just gonna say call in progress this whole time. And then a few seconds later, a girl comes on, she's like, hi, how can I help you? I was like, I'm stuck in the elevator. And she was like, okay, no problem, which one? And I was like, I looked around, it was like car 1. I was like, car 1. And she was like, okay. I was like, I'm stuck between floors. She's like, okay, do you know what floors? I was like, 1 and 1R. And she's like, okay, help is on the way. And I was like, okay. And I like started freaking out. Like, at this point, I texted my teacher, I said, I'm stuck in the elevator. And then I called my sister. I was like, hey, Courtney, I'm stuck in the elevator. And she's like, okay, like, did you press the call button? I was like, yeah. She's like, okay. I was like, help is on the way. She's like, okay, great. And she's like, do you want to call mom or like my other sister? I was like, no, I'm okay. And then I was like, and then she was talking to me about, I was like, will it drop, will it drop, will it drop? And I started like having a full on panic attack. And my one sister doesn't really know how to deal with panic attacks, so she just kind of like blocks it out, and like, I don't blame her for that. So then I got off the phone with her because I was like, oh my god, you're not helping my anxiety attack. So then all of a sudden the security knocks on the one side. I'll insert a picture right here of like what the side looked like that was open. So like the metal wasn't open, but the other side the metal was closed. So he knocks on the door and he's like, "Hi, it's security, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, can you come to the other side? I can hear you better. The metal part's not there." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem." Comes to the other side, he knocks, he's like, "Hi, it's security, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Like full on anxiety attack, but like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he's like, "Okay, we called maintenance. They're on their way. I'll be here the whole time to make sure that you're okay." I was like, "Okay." So at this point, I literally get back on Instagram. Well, I get on Instagram and I like literally post a video of me stuck in an elevator. And if you look at my Starbucks cup, I'm like shaking. And I'll insert that right here. It was terrifying. And by this point, I was able to calm down a little bit, but not enough for me to say that I'm completely okay. So then my mom calls me and she's like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, what's happening?" I was like, "I'm stuck in an elevator. It's been 10 minutes. I was like, "Mom, is the elevator gonna drop?" And she's like, "No, Abigail, it's not gonna drop. It has like a hold, so it won't move." I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Okay, are you gonna have to like take you to the hospital because you know, like you're having an anxiety attack?" I was like, "No, I'm okay." She's like, "Okay, call me when you're out." So I was like, "Okay." Because she had to get back to work. And then my other sister calls me. She's like, "Hey, are you still stuck in the elevator?" I was like, "Yes, I am." And then she's like, "Did you text Dad?" I was like, "No." I texted my teacher, though. My teacher texted me at this point. She's like, "Are you okay? Help is on the way." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I have anxiety, but, like, I'm okay." And then, so the guy knocks on the door. The security guy knocks on the door again. And this was, like, by this point, it was, like, 15 minutes later. And I was like, holy shit, at what point do you call the fire department to get you out of an elevator? Like, at what point is it, like, scary? So then he says, "Hey, I have an update for you." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "So maintenance didn't answer, so we have another team coming." I was like, "Okay, great." So at this point, I like calmed down. At this point, my sister was like, "It's mind over matter, Abigail." So I was like, "Okay, yes, mind over matter." And then she's like, "You could be there someone like with someone that's screaming or has to pee and like pees in the wall. Like you could be in a whole worse situation besides just you in there." I was like, "You know what? You're right." So at this point, I started to breathe. I sat down. And I just kind of like, obviously I was anxious, but my phone was at like 38% at this point, and I was like, okay. So then 5 minutes later, I like knock on the door. I was like, "Hey, like what's happening?" And he's like, "So the second people didn't answer, so we're trying to figure it out." I was like, okay. So then 15 minutes later goes by. I'm in this elevator for like, I don't even know, like 27 minutes or something like that. Like something crazy. And I was just like, okay, at this point I was getting comfortable. I was chilling, but like also still terrified, still scared, still like, what is happening? All right. Still stuck in the elevator. Security's outside. Been in here for 40 minutes. This elevator closed. This one not. So much fun. Could be a lot worse, but it's expired. Could be a lot worse, to be honest with you. Could be in here with someone that's like full-blown anxiety attack that I already had. It's all good, right? Scared as hell though. So I was joking around. Also, this whole time, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. It was like, I felt like I was gonna die. Like, I had to go to the bathroom so bad, and I was stuck in this elevator. And then, of course, my nosy little self, I, like, looked underneath, like, to see the security guard's feet there, and he was just standing there protecting the elevator. And I was, like, looking at the sides, and I was like, oh my god, this is what the inside of an elevator looks like. This is kind of weird. And I wanted to, like, tell the security guard, being like, "Can I send you a picture of what the inside looks like? Can we, like, pry this door open to, like, get me out?" So he knocks on the door. I don't know. This was probably, like, around the, like, 29th minute, around there. And he's like, "Okay, so we called other people across," because I was on the mountain, "across the mountain to come and reset the elevator to get you out." I was like, oh my god, this is going to take forever. So then, this is where I film, and you can't really hear what they're saying. I could barely hear what they were saying, because they were, like, talking really high up, and, like, provided I was basically on the ground compared to them. So
service doors.
Okay.
He's going to give you a call on the elevator phone to just give you a heads up when it's going to move again, okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right.
At this point, they're like, okay, so he's gonna come on the phone and tell you that when the elevator's moving. I was like, I'm not getting out. Like, I sounded fine, but like after I stopped filming, like in between those messy clips, I was like, so I'm not getting out. They're just gonna restart it. I was like, what if it like falls? And he's like, I don't think it's gonna fall. I'll be right here the whole time. What floor do you have to go to? I was like, 2R. He's like, okay, so when you go up to 2R, I want you to get out and wait for me or another security guard to just make sure you're okay and to talk about the experience. And I was like, okay, no problem. This is like terrifying. I miss my kid. Also, never taking the elevator again. So by this point, I was pretty comfortable in this elevator. Although I was like super anxious, I was just kind of like, all right, you know what? Been here for 45 minutes. What's next? So the guy gets on the phone, and I thought he was going to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, are you okay with me resetting the elevator? But instead he's like, okay, the elevator's moving in a few minutes. I was like, okay. Like, literally it was like praying. At this point, I texted my family, and I was like, so he's resetting the elevator, and it's going to move, and I can't get out yet. And I was like, I'm really freaking out. This is when anxiety attack number 2 started spiking. And I was like, oh my god, what if it drops? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I filmed it. Anxiety. And it stopped at the floor 1R. And I was like, should I just get out here? Like, I don't know. But then I was like, well, maybe I should go up to 2R, make sure it works. Like, I don't know. So I go to 2R. I get out of the elevator. Security guy comes over. He says, like, what's your name? What's your student ID? Can I see your ID card? Like, my actual ID card. And take down your number. And are you okay? He just, like, goes over everything with you. I was like, yeah, I'm okay. You know, I had a bad keep in mind, this whole time I'm sitting in this elevator, I started to explore the elevator because, like, what else? You're gonna read stuff on the walls, right? The elevator thing, like, what is it called? The elevator certificate or whatever, expired the year prior in June. I was like, no wonder why the elevator is stuck, for one. It's expired, and, like, they are so lucky they're not there with someone that's, like, terrified or, like, screaming. So I tell the guy that, and he's like, okay, doesn't say anything. And then my teacher was like, I was yelling down the elevator, like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, do you still want to write the exam? I was like, yes, absolutely, I still do. She's like, okay, no problem. And so I wrote the exam. My teachers were like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened to you. They're like, are you ever going to take an elevator again? I was like, heck no, I'm not. And now elevators just make me so anxious and so scary. But yeah, that's how I was stuck in an elevator for 48 minutes. The security guy checked on me, but all the maintenance teams decided not to answer me and not want to help me, which was terrifying to think that, like, I could have been stuck in the elevator for, like, hours on end. And, like, while I was sitting there, I was just, like, thinking about how much I miss Leslie, or, like, what if I die right here? And it was just, like, so concerning. I wish they just, like, pried the door open and let me out instead of, like, resetting it with me in it. But clearly they wouldn't have reset it if they weren't sure that I was going to be safe. But yeah, that's my story time. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next video. Bye.